It's John Pollock, John Ramdeen, and Robin Black with you, and we are discussing Marlon Moraes, who is going to be one of the most coveted free agents in 2017. He is the reigning World Series of Fighting bantamweight champion. You just saw him fight on New Year's Eve, and his manager, Ali Abdelaziz, has confirmed he's in talks with the UFC, and he says if the UFC can sign him, the fight they would want is April 8th in Buffalo.
Awesome.
Against Jimmie Rivera.
Killer.
As your eyes come out of your head.
The reason why I love this is because Jimmie Rivera is legit. You just watch him, and if Marlon Moraes, if the goal is, you know what, we believe that we're championship material. Everybody around us tells us that we're championship.
Route to the top.
What's the quickest
Jimmie
route?
Rivera's
Let's kill
quick.
this. Exactly. Let's destroy this Jimmie Rivera, who's 20-1. You know, the hardcore fans are talking about him. If I beat Jimmie Rivera, the UFC's going to know who I am, and they're going to know that I'm here to take the toughest fights. You leapfrog a whole bunch of people, and you're in that championship.
And I'm Jimmie
mix.
Rivera, and I'm like, you know what? I know what I get out of
Exactly.
beating this guy.
Yeah.
It's a different perspective for Jimmie here because he's never been the hunted before.
Yeah.
He's been the guy coming up. The next guy, now it's Uriah, whatever. Now someone's coming for me. Bring it on.
Yeah. And they know each other. They're
Yeah.
both from New York, New Jersey area, so they're going to be very well aware of each other.
If you're Jimmie Rivera, you're like, yes, I beat Uriah Faber. Now, is there a top 10 guys? This is a big story. This guy's apparently a top 5 material, top 3 material. I have friends that are high-level coaches, never worked with them, but they marvel at him. Some striking coaches talk just about how good Marlon Moraes really is. Our friend Josh Hill's fought him twice, and he and his coaching staff have really analyzed, Rory and his coaching staff, Parabellum, they've really analyzed and broken him down. When you study a fighter of that level, you sure gain a lot of appreciation for them. I love the fight. I hope Jimmie embraces it because it's great for both guys. It makes them both relevant. Yeah, this is great for Marlon Moraes, great for Jimmie Rivera too. But it's a tricky one because Ali has managed Marlon to a very high-paying contract. So now the contract he managed him to and was involved in actually getting made is the contract he will be asking for the UFC to match or better. That's hard for the UFC to do.
They're going to say no, right?
Hard to say because, you add great young... Number one, stars and all that. We know it's a business. They got to have that. This guy has that potential. But two, he's probably one of the 3 or 5 best bantamweights in the world. And what if he's the best? We're supposed to be the NFL of fighting. We're supposed to be the highest level of it. Marlon Moraes is one of these guys undeniably. So we got to have him.
We don't have to pay him.
Well, that becomes the trick.
There's a reality that outside of this room, you go into the world, we'll walk out into the street here in Liberty Village and ask people who Marlon Moraes is. Nobody's going to know who he is. Maybe George Brito, because he lives in the area as well. But nobody knows who this guy is. So I think the last number was $150,000 or something like that for Marlon Moraes. Why would the UFC have to pay that?
It's difficult because listen, any promotion would love to have Marlon Moraes. What does that do for all your other bantamweights when their deals come due? And then now suddenly, okay, this is the level for a top 10 guy.
I'm Jimmie Rivera. I just fought him. I want that.
And I mean, if you look at his record, I think it's 13 straight wins. He can say, well, I beat Miguel Torres, former WEC champion Miguel Torres. I've been on a ridiculous run. You talk about Josh Hill. Anybody knows Josh Hill, they understand how good Josh Hill is. And for him to do what he did to Josh Hill in the second fight shows you how good Marlon Moraes is. So the people in the know understand how good
From a
this
fan's
guy is.
perspective, you want to see him fighting all of these quality bantamweights, but I want to see guys make as much money as possible. I will never look at and criticize a Bibiano Fernandez or a Ben Askren for getting the best deal possible and taking care of their family. And that's what I think Marlon Moraes ultimately, if World Series of Fighting is putting down a 6-figure plus offer and the UFC is not going to come near that, I'm not going to criticize Marlon Moraes for staying there.
But you also have to throw in the mix. Scott Coker pops up. Hey, guys, I'm Bellator. I'm here.
Hey.
I'm not just allowing this guy to go to the UFC for free. He's certainly going to be valuable for us as well.
That's a good point. If you're Bellator and you're still trying to acquire the best talent, you'll match that, I bet. It's going to be interesting. The kid's going to get paid, and good for him, man. That's the way it should be. But yeah, it's a very tricky one as fans. So sometimes it's like, what does the UFC want? What does Bellator want? What would World Series of Fighting want? What does the fighter want? Sometimes we're selfish. I want to see Justin Gaethje fight the best in the world. I want to see Marlon Moraes fight the best in the world as a fan. But I also want Marlon Moraes, as a Marlon Moraes, to get paid whatever he can get. So whoever gives him that money will be happy for the dude.
That's going to wrap it up for us. For Robin Black, John Ramdeen, I'm John Pollock.